Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Dollar Bin Darts. The beat playing in the background is actually from the last episode, so if you like it, make sure you go back and watch that video. If you've seen other videos in this series, you can probably skip past the rules, but if not, here they are. I pick 3 random records from the dollar bin. I throw 1 dart for each record. Wherever the dart lands determines the sample type that I have to pull from the record, and then I make a beat out of all 3 of the records that I pulled. So here are the 3 records that I ended up grabbing from the bargain bin. Number 1 was Frankie Avalon, You're My Life, a rock and pop record from 1977. Frankie Avalon was a teen idol kind of in the 50s and that sort of time frame. And then he also sung Beauty School Dropout in Greece. So excited to kind of see what he has from later on decades in his life. This next one is something I've never really came across before, but it's United States Air Force Academy Band. Seems like it's just a bunch of the troops that have come together and are doing covers of rock and country songs from like the 70s and 80s. The bottom of this record actually says, not for sale, is to be used only within the scope of official Department of Defense activities. So it's pretty interesting. The last record is Nicolette Larson, Radioland. She is probably most well known for her collabs with Neil Young, but a great vocalist. I've had plenty of her records over the years and excited to see what this one can be used for. First up is Frankie Avalon, and looking at the liner notes, this does have every instrument, so I figured it was the safest dart to throw first, and I ended up landing on drums. I did the Nicolette Larson throw next. This has to have some vocals or keys on it, so I'm aiming for melodic, and I nailed it. With this record, I just have no idea what to expect. We only have bass or anything left. I hit the anything slice, so that does give me more flexibility. But I do want to say I was impressed by this record overall. Props to the troops in the 80s, because it seems like he got some chops. Alright, time to get down to business, so let's see what Frankie Avalon has in store for us as far as drums go. I could take that little roll and use it for something for sure. This is from the song The New Old Days, so I'm just chopping it down as small as I can to get a snare. Then I'm adding a bit of grain delay just to give some more texture. And then what I also did was I pulled a kick from the Air Force record and layered it on top. Which, yeah, it did end up being a kick. It had a hi-hat almost attached to it. You can hear the artifacts there. Drove the kick a little bit with BX Boom, cut off some high and low with Kirchoff, and then added Transient Master for a little faster attack. Now that we have the Frankie Avalon kick and snare, I added my own closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, a second open hi-hat from the US Air Force album, a stick/crash from the Nicolette Larson album, and then a drum fill. So let's listen to the kind of final drum loop that I put together, 78 BPM. With drums sounding solid, let's move on to the Nicolette Larson album for our melodic main sample element. Most of the album had this kind of more up-tempo feel, but I got to the last track, Long Distance Love, and just listened to this first Rhodes piano part. Can't go wrong, right? And I chopped this up mostly by feel. Sometimes you just kind of know what sounds you want to use, and that was the case with this one. It's not like evenly chopped by any means, so but I knew that I had these pieces that I wanted to start the chops on, so that's what I did. Then plugin wise, I took the Kirchoff and rolled off everything above about 7K. Used the core compressor to kind of even up the volume. Tweaked the Rhodes boost preset on the core compressor just to kind of even up the Rhodes sound. Used another Clev Grand plugin reamp to get that tape reel sound. And then lastly used my favorite delay plugin, Replica XT, just to do about a quarter note kind of ping pong effect on this main sample. On to our last record, which is the only record I've seen have the official approval of the U.S. Department of Defense. This record has everything from a bunch of covers from Huey Lewis and the News to Peabo Bryson, Journey, Alabama, Dwight Yoakam. So it has quite a bit of different sounds on it, and luckily I can pull anything that I want to from it. The song Mountain Music is where I got the open hi-hat that I referenced earlier. The song Daddy's Hands I pulled some vocals from, some harmonies, and also chimes. And here's that quick chop with a replica added to it, and then ROM for some hall reverb, also pitched down a bit. And then chimes from the same song. Some more vocal chops from Blue Moon of Kentucky. From the song 40 Hour Week, I took these little guitar strums. I'm going to use it almost as like a record scratch kind of thing going on in the background. And there was also this like spinner in the same song that I want to use again as just kind of background texture, some variation within the verses and chorus. Here are all of those things finally just put together, and a little preview before we get to the full beat. And that's that. We got our Frankie Avalon drums. We have our Nicolette Larson main melodic sample. And we have some random elements from the U.S. Air Force Academy band. Kind of weird. Never seen it before. If you enjoyed watching this process, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting. All that helps me. I spend $3 of my hard-earned money every time on these records, in addition to filming, editing in some cases, and also making the beat from scratch, which is the most important part, right? So yeah, appreciate it. Hope you all enjoyed. Now I'll just let the beat ride out, and you can listen to it at your heart's content. Thanks so much. Bye.
that you need.